Today what I'm going to show you is what I like to call the carnivore cheat code. I've been on the carnivore diet for over 8 months now and I've lost over 100 pounds. And for the last 6.5, 7 months I've primarily only eaten one cut of meat, and that's this, chuck steak. Beginning, I really didn't know what I was doing. I was getting a lot of New York strip, or I was eating a lot of ground beef. It just wasn't cutting it for me, so I started looking for different types of meat to eat, different cuts. So in those last 6.5, 7 months, I've eaten this about 85 to 90% of my meals. Just this cut of steak right here. I've gotten a lot of questions on what is it, how do you cook it, how do you not make it tough, and I'm gonna go over that. Now this right here, it's cheaper than ribeye, but it tastes like ribeye, at least to me, if you cook it properly. It's got a ton of fat in it, in which you really need, especially eating this way. You need as much fat as you can get, and this has got a lot of it in it. Now, what is a chuck steak? It's a chuck roast that's cut up into steaks. So it's about 1.5 inches thick. I think this is just under 9/10 of a pound. And I'm gonna show you how I cook this up today. Now, mind you, I'm not a chef. If anything, I'm a terrible cook. I don't like to cook. I like to be able to cook something up, eat it, have it taste edible to halfway decent, and go on with my day. So never in my life did I ever think that I'd be making a video about cooking. So here it goes. So the way I cook this bad boy is just on my stove in a cast iron skillet. I just cover it with foil every night or every day when I'm not using it. And now I understand why people freak out when people wash these things. I don't wash this. I just cover it with foil, and I love all the seasoning and all the flavor and all the fat and all the butter that's in there, and it's great. Okay, so I'm gonna get this get this turned on, and we're gonna let this heat up. So what I'm gonna do is take some Kerrygold butter, take a good couple chunks, and toss it in to the skillet. Usually do like 3 chunks, and we're good. Okay. We're gonna let those melt down and let this thing heat up properly. Do it on a lower to medium heat. That way you don't burn the butter. Because I've done that many times. Now, let that go. Here we go. This is gonna be good. Now we're going to put the steak in very quickly. There we go. Make sure everything is there. And then we're going to season it up. I season it up with 4 different things. First thing, salt. Okay, you use pink Himalayan sea salt. You can use Redmond's or whatever you guys like to use. Okay, just going to come over here. I always put a little bit extra more than I'd like, and that's because, hey, you need salt on this diet. Sometimes I don't even season it if I'm in a real hurry and I just want to throw it on there and it's done in just a couple minutes. Then we're going to take some black pepper. Bingo. Then we're going to take garlic powder. Garlic powder. Whoa, that's a little bit light. Oh well, I like garlic a lot. Don't really matter. Then a little bit of oregano. And then, that's about it. We're gonna let this pan fry, if you wanna call it. Do like almost like a sear. But we're just gonna do this shortly, just for a little bit of time. And you can see, these go a little bit longer. This is done pretty quickly. It's done pretty quickly. So you can spread out the seasonings a little bit. Okay. Remember, not a cook here. But now, keep it close, we'll flip it now. There we go. I don't know if you should do this or not, but I would just throw a little bit of extra, just a little bit of extra seasoning on the top side. And that'll dissolve in. Alright, now we're going to turn the stove off. I think that's about good. I'm going to take this, take this, and just put it right there. Take this, slide that forward, wait for that to cool off, and we'll save that for next time. We're going to let that rest for just a second, and then we'll cut into it and see how we did. All right, let's cut into this thing. Let's see. I feel like it's almost a little bit overdone. Let's see. Yep, I overdid it. I overdid it. Let me see. Let's cut into this a little bit further. I think I overdid it. We're gonna see right now. Yeah, yep, this is like well done. See, even when you mess it up, you don't really mess it up. Because, not chewy at all. Very tender, very flavorful. Like, I overcooked this, like by a lot. Because, like I said, terrible cook. But, that's really good. And it's really, I mean, it's easy to cut. It's actually really tender. Still, a ton of fat on it. And this is just really good. And for a lot of time, this is all I'd eat in a day. This would get me by enough. Starting to eat a little bit more now that I'm down so much and I'm pretty happy where I'm at. But this is a more than enough. Oh, this is a little bit better here. See that? See, it's a little bit thicker. I see I like the steaks now a little bit more rare. It used to be all well done, well done, well done. But now, no, this is way better. And just a little side note, because a lot of people go, oh, I don't want to eat a rare steak because of all the blood. It's not blood, it's a protein. It's not blood at all, actually. All the blood is actually drained out of the animal before it's processed and cut up into different steaks and ground beef and whatnot. So, not blood, don't worry about it. It's a protein, probably good for you. Now, just a little side note, you have to watch the seasonings that you put on your steaks. Why? For a while, this is actually what I was using. Just Lowry's garlic salt. Why? I like garlic, need salt, garlic salt, right? Well, about a month in, I looked a little further at the ingredients. Okay, ingredients: salt, garlic, cool. That's what we think. Modified cornstarch, sugar, parsley, natural flavorings, and extractives from carrots for color. That's not what you want. And what's crazy is that, you know, on the label here, it says nothing about sugar, but it's saying they add sugar to it. Plus the modified cornstarch, you just want to stay away from anything with corn in it. And so, no, I don't use this anymore. I make my own garlic salt, garlic powder, and we're good. And I almost feel like it's a good thing that I overdid this, because this is kind of idiot proof. I mean, it's still good. It's still, I mean, like, I'm still enjoying this. And what's crazy is that before all of this, I never used to eat the fat off the steaks. I'd cut it off, I'd throw it away, give it to the dogs or whatever. But now it's like I crave it. It's so good. But this shows you can be a terrible cook, mess up your steak, and still be happy with it. And that right there, what I just ate, came out to be, look, right there, about 1,100 calories. Probably a little bit more because I added the butter. Actually, probably significantly more. But today, that's really all that I'm gonna eat. I'm not hungry. That will fill me up, and that'll keep me good till this time tomorrow. And when you combine that intermittent fasting with the carnivore diet, it just goes together perfectly. One, it just happened kind of naturally on its own, because when I started eating this way, I'd eat, you know, usually about 2 meals a day. And then I just figured, okay, I can just eat a little bit more and eat one, and then I'm just not hungry. It just kind of happened. And when you take into account that the carnivore diet helps you become fat adapted to where your body learns how to burn fat, to the calorie deficit, because, I mean, I'm, with all my work around here and everything every day, my BMR right now is like 1950, and I'm already operating in an 800 calorie deficit. And take into account everything else, I mean, I probably burn another at least 1,000 calories around the farm doing everything that I do and just moving. And then you throw on the intermittent fasting aspect of it. I mean, that's why, like, especially in the beginning, it wasn't uncommon for me to, you know, step on the scale and say, oh, look, I'm 2 pounds down today. Not that uncommon. But am I still trying to lose? No. But, you know, I might actually end up forcing myself to eat something else later on, like a piece of chicken or something like that, just to help keep the calories up a little bit. Like, it helps me put on a little more muscle. But that's really all I need in a day. I'm happy with it. It's quick. It's easy. It's not taking up huge chunks of my time. Cleanup is, you know, I usually eat on a paper plate, because then I can throw the plate away, and then I just wash a fork and a knife. Then we're good to go. But sure, there are days where that's just not enough and I'm just still hungry. And on days like that, sometimes I'll just run to the grocery store and get a whole big thing of shrimp and just eat on that, because shrimp is like, it's like no calories. It's like 6 calories of shrimp or something like that. Plus I like it, and it keeps me just not hungry. But this should just show you that you can be a terrible cook and still do really well on this. And I don't know what it is. It might just be my body with the meat to fat ratio that just does really, really well on this, or I got adapted to eating it. But this is my favorite thing to eat. It's a third to a quarter of the cost of a ribeye. They're pretty readily available throughout the country. I know a lot of people are saying that they can't find them, but I think if you just talk to your butcher at your grocery store, or if you, even better, if you buy straight from a farmer, say, hey, next time you get a steer to go process, instead of doing chuck roast, I'll buy all the chuck steaks. And what's crazy is 6.5, 7 months later, I'm not tired of it. Like, I still, I get to have a chuck steak today. Like, I'm happy, I'm excited. Like, okay, let's do it. If I don't have one, then I gotta go find one. I'm good by it. And the main thing is, and the whole point of me making these videos, is that you guys find what works for you. This is what works for me. This is what I like to eat. This is what I feel really good on. So try different cuts of meat, try different animals. Maybe some of you like sheep, okay? I'm realizing that I don't really do well on pork, and doing some research into that, and I'll probably make a video on that. Go do yourself a favor, go buy yourself a chuck steak, cook it up, and guess what? It's probably gonna be pretty good. And I don't think Ryan's cooking tutorials will be much on the channel, but to follow along on this journey, hit that subscribe button down below, and I'll catch you next time. All right, bye.